Hello, everybody. This is James Leichter, president of Aptora. I'm not sure if you know it. Aptora is the company that makes your mobile software, Aptora Mobile Tube, as well as Total Office Manager. In version 7.1, we have made some fairly significant user interface changes, and we wanted to make a short video to give you a heads up on those. If you don't watch this video, I honestly think you'll be fine, but we'll make a video to show you around anyway. Before I do that, I want to let you know there are some differences that need to be dealt with after you update. When you update your app, the actual app on a mobile device, not the browser version, but when you update the app, you're going to have to re-enter your company's mobile URL. So that might be something like mobile.bobsheating.com. Be sure to get that from your office because you'll need to enter that. You should enter it just one time and that'll be the end of it. Also, when your company starts updating their apps, they're going to have to update all the apps. None of you will be able to access this with an old version after you have updated. So be sure you update all of your apps. If you are an Apple user and you use the schedule board mapping system to track your devices, the device ID has changed on the Apple apps. Sorry about that. There was nothing we could do about it. The Apple compliance issue. You're going to need to go into the mobile device. You can go to About, registration information, and write down the number that you see in there. Someone will need to go into the asset in Total Office Manager and update the Aptora Mobile 2 App ID field in each of those devices. If you don't do that, it's fine. The app will continue to work. You'll still be able to do your job, but they won't be able to track you on that map. Finally, hosted users, we're taking care of updating your mobile server, but you will need to update the actual apps. The browser version will be just fine. You'll be able to use it immediately, but once we update your mobile server, then everyone is going to have to update their apps if they use the app software. Let's talk about the interface changes. The first thing that you will notice, hopefully, is that it's a much cleaner, nicer looking interface. You'll see sharper lines, new icons. Depending on how you orient your device, it might look something like that, something like this. I have mine set up like this, so you're only seeing one row, but you might see two columns on yours. The home screen has changed a little bit. The warnings now go back 30 days. You'll notice the little warning symbol here and the overdue work orders here. It says we have 1 overdue work order. We have 13 overdue appointments. It's looking back 30 days to count those up. When you click on the overdue appointments, you might discover that you have more than that number because when you come into this page, it will show you all of them. It'll go back forever, as long as it has to. But on the home screen, when it counts these up, it only goes back 30 days. The whole app is faster because of that. You might also notice that there are a few menu options that appear to be missing. We've added a hamburger menu button, and that's actually what they call it, and we've placed the master lists. This would have been more lists. That's what it would have been called before. And we have added a More button, which contains the security, settings, calculators, help, plugins. All of the company lists, such as invoice list, customer list, etc., they'll be under the master list button, just like before. And all of these are named the same as they were before. They are now in alphanumerical order, which they were seemingly random before. And the icons have changed, but the names are all the same. The quick add has been moved to this menu, and it looks just like it did before. You have the same menu options, new icons. They all function the same. When you go into each one of these, they function the same. Company information. This would be other information that might pertain to the whole company, such as dashboards, assets, financial information, the company calendar, and finally, company info. That has been moved as well. This is what you would see in Total Office Manager if you clicked company, company information. If you're a desktop user, this is the same information that you see in the desktop. So let's go back to home. You might also notice that we have removed the My word from these menu options. They used to say My appointments, My timesheet entries, My employee leads, My work orders. These are still the same things as they were before. We just got rid of the My word because we were told by our users it was redundant. The My flat rate is now called Investment Guide. So it used to say My Flat Rate Book, to be exact. Now it says Investment Guide. It functions exactly the same, though. Let's go into a work order. The work orders function the same way, except rather than have an expansion section, an expandable section where you click a plus button, minus button, we've turned those into tabs. And it works a lot more like, or flows more like Total Office Manager, the desktop. Click on either tab to get where you need to go. When it comes to your items, we've made some changes that we hope you'll like. One of the most popular feature requests was inline editing. So here we have a group item, for example. Here's the items within the group. It's now easier to deal with those items. You can click the edit button and you can change the quantity here. You can change the price. That way it's a lot easier to modify those things. If you want to delete them, it's easier, faster. So we hope you like that change. Like I said, that was a very popular feature request. You'll notice the stopwatch icons are missing. They used to be right up here. They are now under the hamburger menu. That was to keep the interface cleaner, and it actually functions a little faster. This whole framework functions much faster. This is the latest framework. Hopefully you'll find it's much more responsive. But it's easy to deal with those just like before. Just click them. Everything else works the same. Okay, moving on. The tabs no longer have numbers indicating the number of records that they have within them. So if we were to go back to our work orders, let's go back into that work order. The expandable sections that I referred to earlier that we used to have, they had a number next to them that would tell you if you had 5 pieces of equipment, for example. We don't have those numbers any longer. That's because they slowed down the interface quite a bit. The program had to constantly make those counts. They weren't saved anywhere. So the program took time to count those records up. And for some users, it really slowed things down. So we decided speed was the important thing. Notice how it says you're en route, just like before. Little cleaner message, better placement, I think. When searching for items, there's a More Options checkbox at the top. Let's just go in there and look at it. Let's go back to work orders. And let's say that I wanted to search for an item. None of this has really changed. It functions like it used to. But you'll notice there is a More Options. We're hiding some of the options that you don't typically use because we wanted to conserve this valuable vertical space. So check that box and you'll find those old starts with, ends with, exact match options and others there. That's also where you'll find your barcoding option as well. There is no color scheme available to each user. The company has now a much improved themes that applies to all users. So each individual user will no longer be able to select a color scheme. That color scheme is selected for the entire company. We were told by many users they wanted uniformity, and that's why we did that. Plus, it also offered some enhanced speed and responsiveness. We have removed the feature request form because we have a whole new feature request system on our support website. So rather than offer you a little form that you could fill out, we have a much better system that former page links to. And don't hesitate to enter feature requests. We would love to hear them. You don't have to be the boss or an owner or a bill payer or anything else. If you're a technician and you have ideas, please let us know. Security is now dynamic. Anytime somebody changes security, settings, preferences, things like that, that change happens instantly. Whenever you move from one place to another, one form or page to another, it adopts any of those changes instantly. You used to have to wait for those to take effect, or you would have to log out and log back in. We no longer have an Android and iOS settings page in the admin area of the program because those properties are now handled by the device. We still have the same properties, but you'll find them in the device properties page instead. Apple devices do not have a built-in back-forward button, as many of you might know if you're an Apple user, iOS user. On our Apple app only, you will sometimes see a go back and go forward button at the bottom of the app screen. These buttons are only needed on some screens, so you won't find them everywhere. And that's it. Those are the changes to Aptora Mobile 2. Like we said, these changes take effect in version 7.1. Once you update to that version, everybody needs to be on that version, so please just keep that in mind. Again, I'm James Leichter. I'm the president of Aptora. I appreciate you being a customer, and I would really love to hear your feedback on the program and your ideas. Thanks very much.